everyone, today I'm doing a book review on The Hunt by Andrew Faduka. I read this book during my booktube-a-thon 2014 and I'm finally doing a review on it, and it's been a long time. I've been really busy and just not thinking about it, and I realized I never did a review on this book, and it was really, really good, and I should do a review on it because you guys need to know how good this book was. I'm going to give this book a 4.5 stars. There were a few things that I didn't like about it, but overall I really, really, really enjoyed this book. It was very quick-paced, very quick to read. It was just a fun read. It was very different from what I was expecting. So I went into this book thinking, okay, this is just going to be another Hunger Games, and with vampires. That's basically what the front cover says at the top. And so I didn't really expect too much out of this book, and I was kind of going into it kind of leery of if I was going to enjoy it or not, but it sounded interesting, and I've seen other people hauling it and reading it on BookTube, so I figured, what the heck. And I'm really glad I did, because, yeah, it was so different from The Hunger Games, and so different from any other vampire book I've ever read. It's really in a league of its own, it really is, and I would say to any of those of you who are worried about, oh, I don't want to read another Hunger Games, or I don't want to read another vampire book, I would take a second glance at this book, because I would give this a second chance, because it was really, really different. The vampires were really, really different from any other book I've ever read, or even movie that I've ever seen where there were vampires, and it was a very different situation than the Hunger Games. So it wasn't fair to go into the book thinking it was just going to be that. I'm not going to say too much about what this book is about, other than it's not really like the Hunger Games, and it's like got vampires that aren't like anything you've ever seen before. And it was so good. There was so much action, so much what's gonna happen next. It was very very exciting, and I'm so like ready to read the next book, which is, I think, The Prey, and I loved it. I love this book. This was a really, really good book. So yeah, I really suggest this to everybody. Okay, so on to the review. Yeah, I loved this book. I just thought it was just so different, especially from what I was expecting. And the world that the main character's in, it was just so messed up, and just so far gone from anything that resembles our world today, that it was kind of refreshing to read. The other thing that I really, really enjoyed about just the basics of this book is that the vampires were nothing at all like what I've ever read in any books before. They were really their own kind of thing, and you know, they were kind of like the Moroi from Vampire Academy, and they were kind of like your traditional vampires, and they were kind of like this and that, but they're really their own like species, and very different in their society and their you know, abilities and stuff like that than anything else I've ever read before. So I really enjoyed that. It felt very unique, very different, very its own thing. Okay, so something that I just thought was so like what about reading this book was the whole designations thing. I don't know if any of you felt like that was very The Giver, but I did. I felt like that was so like The Giver, where they don't have personal identities. They're all just designated and by like their seating in class, and you know, their families don't really give them names, it sounds like. And I mean, the human ones do, but do the vampire ones do? It doesn't appear that way. Which I felt was very The Giver, and very, you know, we're all a collective one, and you don't have separate identities, and it was really weird, and I didn't pick up on it until the very end when he was asking her what her name was, and I was like, wait, I thought her name was Ashley, and it wasn't, you know, that wasn't her designation, and I was like, what is happening? And then, of course, the whole fact that I went up until that point not realizing that he didn't have a name, that the whole book had been from his point of view, and he never, you know, made a mention of what his name was, because when he finally said, oh, it's Gene, I was like, wait, did we not know his name before? It never occurred to me, and I felt so stupid. Okay, so, yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed the uniqueness of the vampires, and the I don't want to say relationship, but the relationship, can't think of another word, so I'm gonna go with that one, of the humans and the vampires. You know, it's much more animalistic and more predatory than in a lot of other, you know, books and movies and stuff like that I've ever seen or read, and it was very creepy and very dark and kind of morbid. And the fact that they don't even call them humans anymore, they're called heapers, and you know that they're seen as just food, and they've gone past of, oh, we, you know, kind of coexistence. No, it's all gone. It's all gone. And you know, the fact that there's so few heapers left in the world, and that, you know, the fact that they have, what, like 6 of them or something for this heaper hunt thing, and that's it. It's just, and they had to raise them from infancy because they're the only ones they've got, and it was just so messed up. Alright, so let's discuss the ending of this book. Okay, he is able to escape with the humans, and he finds out that the scientist who was trying to save the humans under the dome at the headquarters for the vampires, that he was Jean's dad. Now, I'm really intrigued to find out how his dad, you know, managed to go from being bitten, I think is what the story was, to ending up at this laboratory, this library, and helping these people. It was really, I didn't see it coming, and I am so excited to see where that goes. They found this river and the boat, and they're now, you know, heading towards safety, hopefully, and it's just, the book left in such a good place, and I'm really excited to see where it goes next. I feel like the prey will hopefully, like, keep going in the right direction, the right same kind of attitude, because I'm really excited to see where this goes next. You know, so much is kind of left, like, there's hope. There's finally hope that there's something else going on, and that he might find his dad maybe, and, you know, there's more, and this, you know, and the river will take them someplace safe, and I'm really excited to see where this goes next. So, I hope you enjoyed this review. I enjoyed this book, and I will see you soon with more reviews. Bye!